Hi there, it's me Lillian, and I wanted to do this video because I first of all was sent an article about busyness addiction, and also I heard today someone's story about how busyness caused them to stop. Now firstly, let me start with this article on busyness addiction. In fact, let me just start with busyness in general. Busyness is a modern day epidemic, basically. Everybody is busy. You speak to people, they're busy. And the time of doing this video, which is a Sunday evening, no doubt you're possibly busy too, and busy getting ready for your week ahead, busy trying to wrap things up from the weekend. And busyness is a choice. It is a choice. Trust me, it's a choice. I used to be ultra busy until I was stopped with a health crisis last year. And then I had to face the reality. Do I carry on being busy at the fast, hurried pace that I was going at and still have all that I was doing impacting my health and well-being? Or do I, as my family kept saying to me, Lillian, you've got to slow down. Lillian, you've got to stop. Lillian, you've got to do something because look at what's happened to you. Okay, so reading this article on busyness addiction, yes, there are people who are addicted to busyness, but we need to go to the root cause, which is what I've covered before in a few of my posts. What is the root cause of your busyness? It's also well for us to hold our hands up and say, well, it's not my fault. The world is busy. I'm busy. My family is busy. And I've got a busyness addiction. For me, that's just another excuse. We have a choice. Either we're going to wait until we get a wake-up call, or what I call our stop call, to cause us to stop being busy before we start slowing down. We're going to stop and look at the root cause of why we are busy. What is causing our busyness? That is the first key, is the awareness. Rather than looking at the excuses, look at the awareness. Now, last year, I could have stopped and I could have said, oh, well, it's my fault, I'm so busy. Okay. But the fact was I stopped, I was in hospital. So I had time to think and ask myself, well, how did I get here? Why did I get here? And then when I really looked at the root cause of what my busyness was, fear was behind that. I was driven by fear of having to pay the bills, fear of keeping everything going. People have different motives as to why they are kept busy. For some people, they just love that adrenaline rush, which is what I read in this article. So you can be addicted to adrenaline. Okay, and whether that's through busyness, whether that's through some other means, addiction to adrenaline is addiction to adrenaline. So that needs to be the root cause that needs to be addressed. So when people come to me or I read articles and people say, well, I can't help it, Lillian, I'm just so busy. Look at the root cause of why you are being busyness. What is the root cause of your business? That is the first foremost thing to do. Now, if you're committed to your excuses and you're going to say, well, you know, it's this, it's the children, it's my schedule, it's my work, there are ways of getting around that. I've worked with a lady who has 5 children. She had 5 children. She ran her own business. Plus she was married as well. And she had a household to look after. Now, no one can say that she was more busy than her. However, she chose to take things easy. She chose to come and get her body in order, to strengthen her body and to get herself in a much better, healthier place so that she could manage her schedule. She looked at her schedule and she started to speak to her elder children and say, right, I'm going to need to give you some of the responsibilities. She sat down with her husband and she said, husband, I can't keep going at this pace anymore because it's impacting my health and well-being. What can we do to start shedding some of the load that I'm carrying? You know, she sat down, she analysed, she looked at her lifestyle and she said, I can't do this anymore because either, you know, I carry on as I'm carrying on or I'm going to break. Thankfully, she didn't reach that breaking point before she started to do something different. So that's that about busyness. Now, today, I came across somebody who was actually stopped from busyness. Now, this happened to this person a while ago, and this person was working round the clock, owned their own business, independent, worked through the night, worked through the day as well, and they happened to be driving at the time that they had a car accident, okay, early hours of the morning. It's only by a miracle that this person actually didn't die. This is what the person said to me, that it was a miracle that they didn't actually die. Now, this caused this person to stop. And so, now this, they were working way too hard. But because they were self-employed, running their own business, and it was a fact of, I need to make the money, I need to get food on the table, I need to look after my family, etc., etc. That is what was driving that person, was a fear of, if I don't do this, if I don't work, if I don't bring the money in, then this is the consequence. We're not going to have food on the table, I'm not going to take care of my family, this is how it's going to make me feel, I'm not going to be a good person, etc., etc. Okay, we have these stories that run through our mind of how we're going to feel if we don't achieve A, B, and C. So when this person was stopped, they couldn't carry on for a while because their vehicle was a write-off, so they had to get it fixed. But what got this person thinking was, wow, I could have died. I realised I had been working umpteen hours, round the clock literally. I was tired at the time I had the accident, and I could have died. Something's got to change. And that was that person's wake-up call. Thankfully, the person managed to sort things out and get their business up and running, but that person chose to surrender and trust. That person looked at their schedule and said, you know what? And sat down with their spouse and said, you know what? I can't carry on like this. This is crazy. What are we going to do? And it was a case of, right, I can't do this. I can't work through the night. I can't work all the hours during the day. I'm just going to have to surrender, and I'm going to have to trust. And this is exactly what this person did. Now, some of you might sound a bit woo-woo and spiritual and etc., but I'm all for that. So this person took a step back and said, right, I'm not going to work these hours, but I'm going to work these hours which I know are manageable, that I get enough sleep. I'm going to make sure that I eat well, I'm going to make sure that I look after my body. And this is how I can be best of service in my business, to be able to not only serve my customers, but also to serve my family. So this person took a step back, and this person trusted by faith for the customers to show up. Not to say that, the person just didn't sit back and say, oh, well, customers have got to come in. No, the person was active. The person looked at different ways to get customers coming in, rather than that person go out and hustle. That is what the person literally was doing, was hustling, rushing, pushing. These were the words that this person used: rushing, pushing, hustling to get customers. And it was all based from fear. But this person said, no, I can't do that anymore. I can't afford. If I'm not here, who's going to look after my kids? Who's going to look after my spouse? So this person took a step back, trusted, said, right, okay, over to you. I'm going to believe that the customers are going to come in. I'm going to do my bit. And slowly but surely, the customers have been a steady flow. See, when we take ourselves out of that realm of fear and put ourselves into that realm of faith and trust and surrender, then things start to happen. And this is what happens around the whole arena of coming away, transitioning out of busyness towards slowing down and going into a pace that is right for you, that is aligned to you and your body and your purpose. Because there will come a time for everybody, and I hear all the time, there comes a time where you are stopped. Either you realize you're aware and you stop, or you get stopped. In my case, I got stopped. In this person's case, they got stopped. In my previous client's case, she realized way ahead of time, and she said, no, I can see where I'm going and I don't want to go down that road. So what is the choice for you? I know you're busy. I know you're possibly addicted to busyness as well. You're just like, oh my goodness, there's so many things to do, and I've got to do this, I'm spinning plates and this and that and that. But how long can you keep this going? Seriously, how long can you keep this pace going? So that's my message for you today. And if you need help in this area, I can help you. If you need help to transition out of that busyness, to slowing down at a pace that works for you, that is aligned to you. You know, maybe you're in a job and you say, well, Lillian, you know, I'm not in control of my schedule. There are ways of getting around it. I promise you, I've worked with people who have worked in jobs, high profile jobs, and the high demands on them, the high responsibilities on them has just been insane. But we sat down and we said, right, let's create strategy. How can we get you to do less? And it's a case of, a majority of the time, it's a case of communication. Communicating with your family, communicating with your loved ones, communicating with yourself, being honest with yourself, communicating with your bosses and letting them know. I mean, at the time I was hospitalized, I was about to start a contract. And I had to ring the person in charge of the contract and say, look, this is what's happened to me. I don't know why, but this is what's happened. Unfortunately, I won't be able to fulfill the hours that we had agreed. And I was of the position that, well, you know what, if the person says, well, you know, then we can't take you on. I was ready for that. There was even other things I had in place. I had talks in place. I had so many engagements in place to do. And all of them, I had to ring them up and say, well, look, this is what's happened to me. I don't think I'll be able to do this content, to do this talk for you, or be able to do this workshop for you. Some of them were angry, but at the end of the day, if my health and well-being is not here, how am I going to serve them? I'm not going to be able to. But those that chose to be angry and say, right, okay, we're not, whatever their noise was, in place came other things for me that I was able to manage. The contract that I was going into agreed to lessen my hours, which was fantastic for me. They agreed, and even going forwards, they still agreed to cut back my hours and say, right, Lillian, do what you can, which is what I've been doing. So it's a case of communication. And I know a lot of you are fearful of that. Like, well, I don't know what my boss is going to say. It's never been done in our organization. You know, I would love to work three days out of the week, or I would love to work 5 hours each day, but I don't think my boss is going to allow that. How do you know until you communicate with them? And if you're not meant to be in that job, in that organization, there are many organizations and jobs available out there, regardless of what is being said on the news, regardless of what's being said in our industries. There is a way. When you align, truly align, to saying to yourself, I can't keep up this fast pace, I need to slow down, then you'll start to see the miracles happen. Then you'll start to see the right contracts, the right jobs, the right situations, and you to help you to transition out of that business towards slowing down, and then eventually also incorporating more stillness, uncovering more stillness in your life to help you with your health and well-being. So that's my message for you today. I hope it helps. If you find this useful, and you also know of people who are trapped in this busyness trap, and you think, you know what, you need to slow down, otherwise I can towards this direction, share this video with them. Please share this video with them, because when you are stopped, and you're stopped in a scary way, trust me, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And my aim is to help those of you who genuinely want to transition out of busyness towards slowing down, towards living a slower lifestyle, towards uncovering more stillness for the sake of your health and well-being. I'm here to help you. Leave a comment for me in the box below, or send me a private message and let's have a chat, because I know it's possible. It's possible for you to live a slower paced lifestyle. It's possible for you to uncover more stillness so that you can empower yourself in the area of your health and your well-being, and live a much healthier, happier, lighter less stressful lifestyle, which will be good for you, your loved ones, and those around you. All right, I'm signing off now. Have a wonderful evening, day, wherever it is that you're watching from the world. And I will catch you in the next video or in one of my posts. Take care. Bye.